We have somebody who was featured on episode 1 of the series saying that foods that are, quote, plant-based are sugar, vegetable oils, cocaine, flour, and heroin. Plant-based doesn't exactly qualify food as healthy, but that's where good marketing gets you. So apparently heroin and cocaine are foods. Absolute genius. Hey, what's going on, guys? So this is episode 2 of my new series on the channel where we go over instances online in which anti-vegans and carnivores embarrass themselves or even debunk themselves when trying to shit on vegans, etc. A lot of you thoroughly enjoyed the first episode and were asking for a second, so I think I will definitely be turning this into a series, especially because gathering the content for these types of videos is just very easy. All I have to do is go on Instagram or Twitter and just scroll for like 4 seconds and boom, there it is. Or even Facebook, especially Facebook. That's where really a lot of this is. So I guess I should say this now. If you guys have other instances that you want in future episodes in this series, just send them to me on Instagram or at my email, which you can find in the description of this video. Let's get right into the cringe. All right, so Dr. Simon Godick, don't know how to pronounce that, says that sugars, vegetable oils, a vegan lifestyle, sedentary behavior, carbohydrate-rich diet, prescribed medications, phthalates, processed foods, herbicides, delivery services, lack of exercise, etc. What could possibly go wrong? And then he has 2 pictures, one of people from the 1960s and one of people from 2003 that look obese. Yeah, I'm not so sure that vegans, being such a small part of the population, are responsible for what we see in the bottom image of his post. I believe just in America, it's like, what, 40% of the population is either overweight or obese, and vegans are what percentage of the population in the US? Like, I think it's 3% or something like that. So the math doesn't really add up here. Also a little ironic because normally it's vegans are skinny and weak and don't get enough nutrition, and now he's implying that we're getting a bit too much nutrition. Which one is it? This same Dr. Simon says that being vegan is not healthy. So, I saw this and I was like, okay, so he's one of those people that think that you can't be healthy. Then I see him like a tweet that said, you can be healthy in a vegan diet, but it is hard to achieve. Is easier to be healthy if you have no restrictions and eat meat or fish. So being vegan is not healthy, but at the same time, you can be healthy if you're a vegan. I don't sense a contradiction whatsoever. So this guy is a doctor, he has a PhD in biotechnology, and he holds 2 extremely contradictory views and also expressed this within the same hour, I believe. And he thinks that a vegan lifestyle is responsible for 40% plus of the population being overweight or obese when we are, what, like 3% of the population? Just goes to show that having a PhD does not mean much in the world of reason. We have somebody who was featured on episode 1 of the series saying that foods that are, quote, plant-based are sugar, vegetable oils, cocaine, flour, and heroin. Plant-based doesn't exactly qualify food as healthy, but that's where good marketing gets you. So apparently heroin and cocaine are foods. Absolute genius. I love sprinkling a little bit of heroin and cocaine on my salads. And then we have Beans respond to him saying that foods that are, quote, carnivore, poison, dart frogs, blister beetle, bear liver, all things that are not really good for you. And he says broad categories can include unhealthy and deadly items. Mind-blowing. Yes, truly mind-blowing stuff here. Continuing with Sama, the genius, he says carnivore is the most gut-friendly, nutrient-dense, anti-inflammatory, and low-effort diet available. Bean says, interested to see your evidence for a carnivore diet lowering any inflammatory markers, literally any, CRP, which is C-reactive protein, TNF, procalcitonin, anything you want. And then he says, it does by virtue of being ketogenic. If you want more on that, then please see my secretary. And then Bean says, I asked for evidence of a carnivore diet actually lowering inflammatory markers, and you linked me a mechanistic speculation about how another diet may lower inflammatory markers. Impressive. That another diet being a keto diet, which is not necessarily a carnivore diet. Beautiful. Oh, and Sama actually responded to Beans when he mentioned all the other carnivore things that are not good for you. And he says, let's draft up the number of poisonous animals and poisonous plants. I wonder which stacks higher. A very cope response, because obviously that was never really the point of the initial tweet. And then Beans pies him by saying, you can do that if it distracts you from posting bullshit on Twitter. Personally, I'll just stick to foods we know aren't poisonous. What a crazy concept. This guy retweeted Sama and said, this guy thinks that cocaine is a food. And then he responded saying, gives you the same amount of nutrition as vegetables. Do I need to cite a source to explain just how fucking ridiculous that is to say? Probably not. Oh, just wanted to mention what Simon said before when he said, just take a look at nutrition facts. Being vegan is not healthy. Veganism is a cult. So again, someone with a PhD in biotechnology thinking that little anecdotes are evidence of an entire diet being unhealthy. So I responded to him saying, the best kind of doctor is a post-physique bro type. Here you go. And then I just posted my physique. I guess now he must think that vegan diets are healthy because anecdotes are a good form of evidence to him. Who knows? We have B-Hug 468 saying, can't wait for your I'm no longer vegan video, ha ha ha. This guy must be very new to the channel because I have tons of those. Oh, so we have in the Homestead Reddit, a farmer talking about how much they love their animals. They say, next time you can give them a nice bath before slaughter. They'll love the back scratches with soapy water and you'll appreciate the clean skin when harvesting. Win-win. And the other farmer goes, I love this. Giving some love before slaughter. Yeah, giving some love before murdering. Just not psychopathic whatsoever. We have Sama again, the MVP of this video and probably series going forward. Fruit is glorified high fructose candy that's grown in over-farmed and depleted soils. They're not exactly necessary for a healthy diet. And then Bean says that candy seems to be terribly good at making people live longer. And then cites a paper going over fruit and vegetable consumption and all-cause mortality. Absolute wreck. So some guy named Jason B actually responds to Bean citing that paper with a screenshot of the search strategy and study selection for the paper and says, is this that, quote, solid science again, Beans? Beans responds saying, yeah, if you disagree with the methodology and can give a coherent explanation why I feel otherwise please piss off. He says, of course, Beans, it's okay for you to go searching for other people to find fake flaws, but the bar you set is not applicable to you. Responding to a tweet from 2019 only shows how you behave in bad faith, clown. So notice he didn't actually give his problem with the methodology of the paper. He just made some kind of attack on Beans responding to a tweet from 2019. Beans ended up saying, you're one deranged lad, aren't you? And then Jason B says the person who spends all this time on Twitter searching for gotcha moments, gaslighting goon. And then Bean says, you joined 4 years later than me and have more tweets than me. You're throwing rocks out of a glass house, clown. Jason B says, liar. And then Bean says, this info is publicly available at LMFAO. Now please take your meds like we agreed yesterday. And as you can see here, Beans has been on Twitter for longer than this person and has less tweets than them. Amazing. All right, guys. Well, that's the end of episode 2 of Anti-Vegans and Carnivores. I guess we'll just say anti-vegans from now on. Debunking themselves or embarrassing themselves. The series has many kind of intentions. Thank you so much for watching. If you support my work and want to get early access to it, you can click the link in the pinned comment and support me on Patreon. And if you don't know, I do have a book going over most, if not all, of the anti-vegan arguments you're going to hear online. If you want to get that as well, that'll be linked in the pinned comment. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Dude,
fuck off. I don't want anything to do with you. Don't ever speak to me again. You're a fucking piece of shit.
even vegans don't get your weird, stupid wannabe sense of irony here. Who is your audience? Nobody gets these dumb jokes. Dude,